Hello, you're back again, and you're on Gospel Faith Television. I'm still on the subject of the rise of Africa. I'm here to look at Robert Mugabe being the new African Union chairman. So I know I've been away for a little while, but I'm back with the rise of Africa part 2. Yeah, I would like you to understand that Robert Mugabe will bring bring a better security to the African continent. I'm not saying that the African Union leaders or the OAU leaders in the past didn't do that. I'm not saying that they never brought security to the African continent, because they did. But I think, not even do I think, I know, I'm definitely sure that Robert Mugabe will specifically take time out and build a better security structure for the African continent. What I mean by that is that in terms of the security, the African continent shouldn't really be a place where any sort of individual can come in and do as it pleases them. There should be a security structure, as in they should tighten up their laws a bit more and make it difficult and not so easy for anyone to be able to come into the African continent and do as it pleases them. I'm talking about manipulation here. I'm talking about exploitation here. These are things that are going on, and these are things that render the African continent poor. So these are issues that have got to be looked into, and I know Robert Mugabe will make this. He will turn that situation around. I know he's got that kind of capability. He's got that kind of capability. So these are good times here for the African continent on the security aspect of things. You know, I made a video in the past. I think I made that video about 3 years ago. It's called A Tribute to Nelson Mandela. Now, I said so many positive things about the great South African man who goes by the name Nelson Mandela. But now, Nelson Mandela is dead and he's not with us anymore. He was such a father figure on the African continent, on African soil. He was such a father figure worldwide. But now that Nelson Mandela is not with us anymore, I couldn't think of anyone better or anyone more ideal to fill those shoes. So when I look around and I look at the people, I look at the candidates, I look at the representatives, I look at the possibilities, I look at the ideal individual that should be able to take up that father figure role in Africa, I think of Robert Mugabe. So I'm just here to say that the timing is right. And the people that nominated and voted Mr. Robert Mugabe as the African Union leader, they got it right. Because I can't think past Robert Mugabe at this moment. I mean, there's so many leaders in Africa, but I mean, Robert Mugabe is bringing a lot of experience and he's bringing a lot of knowledge as well to the post. There used to be a Ghanaian president in the 50s and in the 60s who went by the name of Kwame Nkrumah. Now, Kwame Nkrumah is a natural Pan-Africanist. He's a big name globally. And he had positive motives in terms of the goodness that he wanted to see happen in Africa. So when I mention names like Nelson Mandela as a father figure, I can look back and think of Kwame Nkrumah, the Ghanaian president. He was also a good African figure. Father figure, no. A good African father figure. I mean, the youth of today, they're looking up to people who they can emulate. And Nelson Mandela comes into that category. Kwame Nkrumah comes into that category. And so does, definitely, Robert Mugabe come into that category. I mean, with the appointment of Robert Mugabe and with the objectives that he will inject into the African continent, I can only think of positive outcomes coming out of this. I mean, the results are going to be different from the negative results we used to hear in the past. Good news will be coming out of Africa. Yes, there's going to be change. And I don't see anyone better to bring change to Africa as a continent at this specific time than Mr. Robert Mugabe. I mean, Robert Mugabe has been the president of Zimbabwe for a great number of years. Now, I'm here to say to you that for Robert Mugabe to be the president of Zimbabwe for all those number of years, he must be doing something right. Are you trying to tell me that the people of Zimbabwe are stupid? They're not stupid. To get to that level is one thing. But to stay there and remain there for all those amount of years, you must be doing something right. His intentions for Zimbabwe and his intentions for Africa, when I think about it, I become optimistic. It fills me with optimism. Right. So, Robert Mugabe, I'm saying it again, I know a lot of people might not believe what I'm saying, or I know a lot of people might not want to agree with what I'm saying, but I am Pastor Ojimba Alex, and I'm sent to you by the Lord. And the Lord said, name and title this, The Rise and Rise of Africa. Yes, with the appointment of Mr. Robert Mugabe, I expect powerful pastors from the African continent. Powerful pastors like Bishop Oyedepo, the great Bishop Oyedepo of Winners Chapel. I expect the great Bishop Oyedepo to get involved and have a large voice in the rise and rise of Africa. I expect the Bishop Oyedepo of Winners Chapel, a man that speaks his mind, a man of God, I expect them to start coming out now. And we don't have to try to speak diplomatically. We've got to say it as it is, so people can learn from this. I mean, Robert Mugabe being the African Union leader, it fills me with joy because Zimbabwe people, they're clever people. I went to University of East London and I had a female friend called Noktula. She was from Zimbabwe. She taught me so much things. I knew that people from Zimbabwe, they're clever. Noktula become my friend for life. And I know as Africa is rising, Noktula's going to rise as well. Well, people like Pastor Ojimba Alex is coming out and I'm speaking now. Yes, I'm speaking up. I've got a voice. Pastor Ojimba Alex is speaking about the rise and rise of Africa. I'm not hiding. And believe you me, our children, our future generations, they will benefit from Robert Mugabe becoming the African Union leader. Thank you. Thank you very much. God bless you.